Today, I'm going to show you the 3 important things that can increase your chances of getting an Australian employer to sponsor you. No university degree? No problem. No millions of naira? No problem. Over 45 years of age? Still no problem. No university degree? No problem. No millions of naira? No problem. Over 45 years of age? Still no problem. What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to show you the 3 important things that can increase your chances of getting an Australian employer to sponsor you. As an aged care worker or disability support worker through the DAMA Pathways. Hi guys, I'm Wendy, documenting my life as a migrant here in Australia. Before we proceed with today's video, I would want to state that I am not a migration agent. Kindly use all the information in this video as a general advice only. What is DAMA? DAMA is not a visa. DAMA is an employer-sponsored migration pathway. An employer must first obtain endorsements before sponsoring a worker. You cannot apply for a DAMA by yourself. An employer starts the employment process. So with this basic understanding, let's head down to Google and find out what DAMA really is. I will go to Google and search Australian DAMA Home Affairs. So let's click on the first one and find out what DAMA is. So DAMA stands for Designated Area Migration Agreements. A Designated Area Migration Agreement, DAMA, is a formal agreement between the Australian government and a state or territory government or regional authority. It provides access to more occupations than the standard skilled migration program. DAMAs operate under an agreement-based framework, providing flexibility for regions to respond to their unique economic and labor market conditions. So this is DAMA, guys. DAMA is not a visa, right? So it stands for what? Designated Area Migration Pathway. So you can read all the way down to have basic understanding of what DAMA is. Now, these are the existing DAMAs. We are going to come back to this place shortly, and these are the types of labor agreements: industry labor agreements, designated area migration agreements, the company-specific labor agreements, and the skilled refugee labor agreement. So it's very important that we read to have a basic understanding of this migration pathway. So which occupation should you apply for, or which occupation should I apply for under the DAMA pathways? So let's go back to Google again and search for 423111 aged or disabled carer Australia. I have searched this before now, and this is ANZSCO code 423111. So we're going to scroll all the way down and look for the government website. So I'm going to click on this particular one. And here we are. We have aged and disabled carers. This is an overview. These are details and downloads. So people that are employed under this category is 376,300. Part-time is 60%, female share is 73%, and the median weekly earnings. I get this question a lot. How much does a disability support worker earn here in Australia? This is your weekly earnings. This is as high as $1,761, and the median age is 41, and annual employment growth is 27,100. I can click more on the details for us to have better understanding. So these are weekly earnings before tax. Share of workers who work full-time hours, aged and disabled carers, you have 40%, and under all occupations, you have 69%, okay? Average full-time hours worked per week, 43 hours. So you can work as high as 43 hours in a week, and the median full-time earnings per week is still 1,761. Median hourly earnings per hour is $46 per hour, and this can be higher in some regions as well. So we can read and have better understanding, and these are the states and territories. New South Wales is 27.4%. This is very high. Victoria 24.5%, Queensland 23.0%, South Australia 9.8%, Western Australia 10.1%, Tasmania 3.0%, Northern Territory 1.0%, and Australian Capital Territory ACT 1.2%. Of course, our New South Wales is the highest here. So you can have a read to have better understanding of what is required to apply for this particular pathway, which is the DAMA pathways. Now, many employers advertise under different names, okay? You can see this on a job site as a disability support worker. Please pay attention. You can see this as aged care workers as well. You can see this as personal care workers as well. You can see this as community support worker as well. You can see this as home care workers on some sites as well. Now, the moment you see any of these roles I mentioned there, please quickly apply for these jobs. Don't say you're looking for aged and disabled carers alone, and when you see disability support worker, home care worker, you will not apply. They mean the same role and they have the same job description. So how do you know if you qualify for these roles? We're still going to head back to Google and search for Community Work Australia, okay? Community Work Australia, just enter. Remember, I told you guys you can see these roles as a disability support worker, home care worker, community workers, so many of them, but they basically mean the same thing, right? So let's come here and look at this. Community Work Australia, working together, and let's check eligibility, okay? So this is the home skills assessment, then check eligibility. Confirm your eligibility before you apply. So like the Australia Home Affairs, the DAMA Home Affairs, they've made this whole thing pretty straightforward and easy. But you need to just know where to look at. You need to know what to look for. You need to know what to search for, right? So they've asked us to check our eligibility and confirm your eligibility before you apply. So let's come down all the way, and it says here, am I eligible to apply? Community Work Australia recognizes and assesses skills across a range of community work occupations. Our eligibility checker helps you find the most relevant occupation based on the information provided. Answer the questions below and find out if Community Work Australia can assess your skills and which pathway best matches your qualifications and experience. Now, this is the step 1. They are asking you, do you have a qualification? I'm just going to click on this. I'm going to say yes, okay? And I will go next. And now it's asking us, do you have a Certificate 3, Cert 4, Diploma, Bachelor? So can you see that you can actually apply for this role and come to Australia even without a degree? Here is here, Cert 3, Cert 4, or even a diploma, okay? I can maybe, let me click on Cert 4. I don't want to use my degree. Yeah, Cert 4. Let's go next, and it's asking you, do you have relevant work experience 1 year, 2 years, 3 years or more, or none? Okay, let me click on 1 year. Let's see, okay? Just follow me, guys. Now it's asking us Certificate 4 qualifications and available occupations, okay? For Cert 4, you can apply for aged or disabled carer, and you can apply under the DAMA qualification and under this as well. So this is it. So you can read to have better understanding, okay? So if we decide to go to the previous, let's see. So this is it. This is it. This is the step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. These processes are straightforward. So I can decide to come down to occupations. I can decide to come down to occupations. These are occupations under the DAMA Pathways. This is a refugee worker, youth worker, welfare worker, family support worker, disability services officer, parole or probation officer. All these things are under the DAMA Pathways, okay? Residential care officer, and we come all the way to aged or disabled carer. This is the category that applies to us, right? So I will click here and see. So they're asking us to apply now. Description, assessment criteria, steps to apply. Before you apply, start your application. So occupation description. So an aged or disabled carer is a person. Listen carefully. This is the only way you're going to know if this category applies to you, okay? An aged or disabled carer is a person who is qualified and or experienced in delivering person-centered services to people who may require support due to aging or disability, right? The primary focus of the role is to provide emotional support, care, and companionship to individuals to improve their quality of life. Other tasks may include performing general housekeeping and providing household assistance, such as preparing food, assisting in personal hygiene, and getting dressed. And they said here, please note, Community Work Australia uses aged or disabled carer terminology to be consistent with the ANZSCO code. We believe the term disabled is outdated and inconsistent with contemporary and respectful guidelines for referring to people with a disability. So, common occupational titles. You can see these roles as aged care worker, I've mentioned this before, disability care worker, personal care worker, carers, personal carers, individual support workers, disability support workers, disability development and support worker, community support worker, disability assisted living, in-home support. Oh my word, Australia is beautiful. Can you see the varieties of jobs you can apply for? under this category. Now, main tasks. What are your job responsibilities when you come on a duty? 1. Accompanying aged and disabled persons during their daily activities, assisting clients with their mobility, like mobility transfers or stuff like that, preparing food for clients, so cook food, yeah, arranging social activities, like taking them out on recreational activities, performing housekeeping tasks such as vacuuming and cleaning. Guys, these are what we do back home. Right? Assisting in personal hygiene and dressing, providing companionship, friendship, and emotional support. May do shopping and run errands. You may live in with the person. So these are the tasks that are applicable to this role. Now, what is ACILA initiative? ACILA stands for Aged Care Industry Labour Agreement, right? So they are asking us now that this is an initiative of the Australian government. So let's click on this to see what is happening here. So this is eligibility. Let's know if we're eligible for this. And when you click on this eligibility, so a relevant qualification obtained overseas. Guys, can you see? In fact, after this, I am going to formally launch my migration channel, Migration with Wendy, because I come here and teach you guys for free. Nobody is taking me serious. Now we need to start paying. Can you see? This is a relevant qualification obtained overseas with equivalent to a minimum AQF Certificate III or higher. Guys, what is AQF Certificate III? AQF Certificate III is an Australian qualification framework, right? So did you notice here that there is no degree requirement? Of course, you can come with a degree requirement, but if you just have a Certificate III, you can apply for this role. So if you do not have a relevant qualification, 12 months of relevant full-time work experience or part-time equivalent in Australia or overseas, working as aged or disabled carer. Please note, you do not need a skills assessment if you obtained your qualification in Australia. If you completed a qualification overseas from an Australian registered training organization, you will require a skills assessment. Can you see? Now, assessment criteria. Let's click on this and see what is happening. You can demonstrate Criterion One in one or two ways. 1, if you have relevant qualification, that is the AQF, the Australian Qualification Framework Level 3 or even higher, okay? Or relevant work experience. If you do not have a relevant AQF Certificate 3, minimum qualification, at least 12 months. Can you see, guys? Can you see? Like, I do all this research and I come here to give out all this information for free. And what are my people doing? They keep sleeping. You guys must wake up. You must wake up this time around. So we can read and have better understanding of all this. And this is the Criterion Two. We can click on it. Whether you have a relevant qualification or relevant work experience, okay, you must demonstrate industry currency. You can do this in one or two ways. Your relevant qualification was completed within the past 4 years, or you have at least 12 months of relevant employment in the last 5 years. So this is it. Understand the application process. So this whole step now will help you to understand the application process. Number 1, you match your experiences. Number 2, you nominate your occupation. Number 3, prepare your documents. Number 4, you create an account. Number 5, you submit an application. These are the documents, the checklist. Okay, just hang on, we're going somewhere, guys. So the Australian Home Affairs or even the DAMA Pathway, like, they've made this whole process very easy. But I think why people still struggle a lot is that they don't have anyone to hold their hands on this journey. They don't even know where to look at. They don't even know what to search for. So after understanding the application process, they have still asked you before you apply, check if you're eligible. You can click here, like, read to have better understanding. This whole process of migrating to Australia requires reading. Yes, you need to research. It's not a question of, can you do for me? Nobody's going to do for you. You need to research. You need to read, then ask questions. But in case you're not able to read, you're not able to research, then you can pay. Good. Someone can help you do it. They have agents and all that. So you scroll all the way to find out if you're eligible and apply. Then I'll go back again and document checklist. This is what I'm looking for. Okay, the document checklist. Now, the document checklist to complete your skills assessment application, guys. This is what I'm giving for free. Number 1 here is color scan of biography page of your passport. Color scans of at least 2 other official identity documents, including 1 official photo bearing IDs such as your birth certificates, your Australian visa or IMI card for guys that are here, driver's license or ID card issued by country of citizenship. If applicable, color scan of evidence of name change. Okay, English proficiency, one of the following. This is applicable for general skilled occupations only. English language test results, color scans of qualifications or letter of completion, previous suitable skills assessment outcome. So let me click here because I'm equally researching on this for you guys. So let's click on this to see. Let's click here to see if we can see I'm trying to see the English requirements. Okay, we'll come back to this. So this is it for English proficiency. This is for qualifications, color scan of qualifications or letter of completion showing the start date and end date and the applicant was deemed to have completed the course. Color scan of the transcript of results for graduates of Community Work Australia accredited courses and recognized relevant qualifications. A color scan of a letter from your education provider showing details of field of placement. Now, for overseas applicants, this is what I've been looking for. It is recommended that you submit a detailed course outline or syllabus. A resume including 2 referees with contact details, position description for all relevant work experience, statement of service or letter from employer. For applicants, nominating welfare center manager, copy of organizational structure. Like, this is a very straightforward process and they are still guiding you further here. Please note, you must provide high resolution color scans of original documents, right? Photos and low quality scans will not be accepted. All documents uploaded for your skills assessment application must be color scans of the original documents. no larger than 10 megabytes. Higher resolution, we recommend 600 dpi. Can you see? Like, this is a very straightforward process, and when you're done gathering all these documents, of course you can apply. Hit on the apply. So let's have, okay, we've looked at the document checklist, the fees and charges. Let's see. So for skills assessment, general skilled visa occupation, you're going to pay $965, okay? For the designated area migration assessment, DAMA Pathways, which is applicable to us, you pay $965, okay? Then for the aged care industry labor agreement skills assessment, is as cheap as $595 only. Other services, internal revenue of a negative outcome, $500. External appeal, $750. Yes, if you get a negative assessment and you think all your qualifications are correct and you have the right to put an appeal to ask them, why was my assessment a negative one, you know? So all these things are listed here. It's just for us to read and know what we're searching for. This is a very straightforward process, guys. You must not be a lab scientist to come to Australia. You must not be a doctor to come to Australia. You must not be a nurse to come to Australia. Just a certificate 4, Cert 4 can bring you in here. And you're over 45 years, you can come in with this one. So this is it for this category, and we're still moving forward, guys. We're still moving forward. So we're still moving forward. I'm going to go to Google and type ACILA skills assessment. Okay, so this is it. We're going to look at the direct care skills assessment of the ANZSCO. So this is the direct care skills assessment. This assessment supports the Australian government's aged care industry labour agreements, ACILA, and designated area migration, which is the DAMA. So this assessment is for the following occupations only. This is for nursing, support worker, and for personal care assistant. And here we can see the assessing fee is $545. Time to apply is going to take you just 25 minutes average to apply for this role. So check eligibility. To qualify for a direct care skills assessment, you must meet all requirements of at least one of the following pathways. Okay, we can read to have better understanding. Okay, now you prepare your documents. You upload a clear copies of all these documents listed here. Okay, now you register and pay. That's the next thing to do. And you upload your documents and you do what? You wait to hear from us. Okay, so this is a pretty straightforward application, and for you to check your eligibility, you must hold a minimum certificate 3 qualification in a relevant field, including nursing, related study, or personal or aged care. So can you see there is no place it says you must have a degree for you to apply for this role? So I'm really looking forward to my subscribers utilizing this opportunity, because I did this research for you guys, and I'm really hoping this will help people, you know. For anyone that really wants to hit the ground running after this tutorial, leave me a message in the comment section. I will be happy to hold your hands for free. I'm not asking for any money yet. I will be happy to guide you on this. So this is that for that. So we are still going to look at another one, which is I'll open a new tab here, and I'm going to search Community Work Australia. I've opened this Community Work Australia, and I'm going to Community Work Australia, and I'm going to look at the skills assessments. Yeah, I don't know, I think we've looked at this before now. So this is what is required here. I can go back and still check eligibility, and yeah, we've done this before, so it will be best for us all to come back here and read and have better understanding before submitting our application, before even applying. At least if somebody is asking you what is DAMA, you know, what do you mean by DAMA, you should have something to say. And how are you going to have something to say if you don't come back and read? So now let me explain something that confuses a lot of people. So AQF, what is AQF? AQF stands for Australian Qualification Framework. It's Australia's official system for classifying qualifications from Certificate 1 all the way to university degree. For this occupation, aged and disabled carer, the qualification standard is usually an AQF Certificate III or a higher relevant qualification. So now, if you studied outside Australia, don't panic. This doesn't automatically mean you must come to Australia to study again. No. Instead, your overseas and work-related experience will be assessed to determine whether they are equivalent to an Australian AQF Certificate III or above. For example, if you are a nurse or a community health worker, social worker, or you have a caregiver qualifications in overseas, the assessor pay your experience and education with the Australian standard. So if your qualifications, of course, meet the same standard here in Australia, you will usually have a positive assessment or a positive outcome. But however, if after going through your documents and they feel you don't meet the same standard here in Australia, that is when you're likely to have a negative outcome. In my next video, I will show you how to find the best DAMA regions and compare these regions and tell you the better DAMA regions to apply for. Thank you guys. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I remain Wendy. See you in my next one. Bye.